Netflix is in a world of trouble, as I wrote. So yeah, um, there's a lot going on here. None of it is good. Netflix loses 200,000 subscribers in quarter one. Predicts loss of 2 million more in quarter two. Um, that's not good because Netflix has like I think over 200 million subscribers, but losing another 2 million subscribers in the second quarter is that's a nightmare. Um, yeah, they have 221.84 million subscribers at the end of 2021. But during this 3 month period that ended March 31st, in that time span, including the debuts of Bridgerton season 2 and the Adam Project, Netflix dropped to 221.64 million subs. That's not a good thing. The bigger issue is how bad their stock tanked, because people started freaking out at the news of them potentially losing another 2 million subscribers. Look, I made the point that I think a big part of this is that they don't have any word of mouth. The one thing that everybody demanded that Netflix never change was, I need to stream this shit all at once the second it comes out. All the other streamers that came out after were like, no, we're not doing that. They were like, no, yo, you're getting week to week. And guess what people did? They were like, okay. They just took that shit. And they keep their shows in the zeitgeist longer. That's a big part of it. Also, like, Netflix is not investing in what I would argue is prestige television, which is a problem.
Yeah, Netflix very much has a quantity over quality mentality.
Mm-hmm.
With the joke with Netflix, well, there are many jokes with Netflix, but one of the jokes with Netflix is that, oh man, there's nothing on. Let me find something on Netflix, and then you spend all night looking for something on Netflix.
Yep.
They are the Nintendo Wii equivalent of streamers at this point. Like everybody has them. And there's a ton of just crap that you got to sift through in order to find some gems. And the problem
there are gems, but like you said, it's just
there are really good stuff on Netflix, right? But at the same time, like, I don't know, man, you gotta get more advertising out there. You gotta lure people in there, right? Like, and you're going up against Amazon and Apple and Warner. Like, they got money to throw around, man.
Yeah, a lot.
To lure people. Like, I know Netflix is kicking themselves for not being the first streamer to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Right.
Like, and they've had a couple of nominations, but also, you're buying up all these foreign shows, which is great, but like, you might need to cut back on that, because you buying those things up, the cost gets put back on us, the consumer.
Right.
And there's just way more options, man. Like, there are way more options out there. If you've got Amazon, if you have an Amazon account, you essentially have Prime Video, because most people have Amazon Prime. If you have an Apple device, Apple was literally giving subscriptions, 1 year subscriptions away, so that people will watch their stuff. And it's not as expensive either. Like, it's not as expensive as Netflix.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that Netflix needs to do. Cracking down on password sharing. I mean, look, people share passwords, but that's not going to solve your problem, man.
It's not, but they are, in fairness to them, they are losing a shit ton of money from that. They estimate that 100 million people share their passwords. That's half. That's half their base. That's half their base, dude. That's a lot of money. So when people are just like, oh, they're going after it, that's bullshit. Like, nah, yo, that's a lot of money to leave on the table. That's basically saying that you potentially could have 300 million people, potentially 300 or more. Like, probably, I bet a lot of people share a password to more than one person, to be honest, right? So, like, you could have 300 million subscribers at this point or over that, but they just don't. Because people are just like, I'm just going to share my password. And look, I get it. Like, have done that, am doing that, like, whatever. But it is kind of fucking fascinating how much money they are actually losing. But I think a big part of it is they just don't have big enough prestige shows, and I think they don't keep the shit in the zeitgeist. Like, having week by week, really, especially when you have like good mysteries and stuff like that, people get drawn in and people don't want to miss out on being a part of that conversation, right? Like, as much as people go, I needed binge. Dude, one of the biggest shows of all time is Game of Thrones. It's week to week and everyone's talking about it because it is a highly prestige show. And because it's week to week, all of that water cooler talk, you get all of that, and that keeps people invested and it brings people in. When you put out Inventing Anna, it gets talked about for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it's gone. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah, and everyone, like, another thing, when you binge it, like, everyone is at it at different points. You know what I mean? So
right. You can't have a linear conversation about anything.
Yeah, man. I don't. I don't get it. It's. I guess now they're thinking about doing a lower tier Netflix that has commercials in it.
Yep.
I mean,
they should have done that years ago.
Yeah, that you doing it now, like, I that's not going to entice people to stop sharing passwords. So like that's not like, it's not.
The second that took off on like HBO Max, and they were just like, people were like, all right, cool. Like, I don't want to, I'll take HBO Max with passwords, or excuse me, with commercials. They should have implemented that immediately. Because the second you didn't do that, people were like, well, cool. I don't mind commercials. I'll get HBO Max because I can have HBO for like $10 a month. And that's all prestige television, right? So it's, no, you fucked up. You waited too long. And look, part of it is like they're weirdly becoming the Blockbuster of streaming. Like, ironically, right? Like, they're so big and they're so ubiquitous that they kind of think that they can't be hurt. And now they're suffering from what Blockbuster did, and it might be too late for them. I also think one of the other big things, and this is just the nature of how things are set up, Netflix for a long time didn't have anything original. So they spent so much money acquiring the rights to things. Like, they have to acquire the rights to Friends. They had to acquire the rights to, whatever other Breaking Bad and stuff like that. But people also want new shit. And they took a long time before they started doing original content, right? Like, it was a minute before House of Cards came out. Like, that was a long time. And that was prestige television, and people were super into it. Now imagine if House of Cards had come out and it was week to week. Like, that would have been capturing, like, it would have captured everyone. Remember when it came out, the second season came out on Valentine's Day, and like, people were just like, yeah, I'm not going out. Yeah, I'm not going out. Yeah. Me and my spouse, we're going to sit here, we order pizza or make dinner, and we're going to watch House of Cards. That's what me and my wife did, and we were definitely not alone in that. A lot of people did that. Be smart. Do shit like that. I don't know why they didn't they should have made that a yearly thing. But for some reason they were like, nah, let's do it on a different day. I was like, you fucking idiots. What are you doing? You got a captive audience. So yeah, they need help, man.
It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense.
But you've long said that, like, how does Netflix even make money? Like, they don't.
I don't know, man. Right, yo. They like, the model just doesn't. Look, I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about business. It just, but I do have a little bit of common sense, right? And if people, when they say, "Yeah, I'll just keep this for a month and then drop it," like that, they mean that shit. And if you put
Some
your
people mean
whole,
that.
and you put your, if you put your whole product out there, and somebody binges it, all right. I just paid $10 to watch all of, this season of whatever, and I don't even know what they have, and I don't have to worry about it until next year.
Yep. Yeah, if you're that frugal, yeah, absolutely. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they made a point I had never thought about. This idea of binging everything and then just being like, I'm done for a year. Because, like, take Disney Plus, right? The way their series come out, like the Marvel series come out, you get 6 episodes, and it's week to week. You can't get out of the series before your monthly bill review.
Right.
It's super smart. It's like, and they hit you at like, oh, episode 4. Well, you're not gonna miss the 2 finale episodes, are you? No, right. Surely you're not. Re-up, nigga. Like, they got you. That's super smart. Right. Netflix is here's everything, and people are like, cool, thanks.
And then nope. After your 6 episodes, right? It's 2 more weeks before another series that
you're not gonna cancel it.
Will enjoy.
Yeah, you're not gonna cancel.
Comes out, and then once that starts, you're into the next month. Like that's the beauty of the week to week shit. Like that's why
it's financially smart.
Yeah, man. It just
when he said that to me, when he said that, he was like, yeah, by week 4 they got you. I was like, that's a good ass point. Like, you're not gonna quit. Oh, you know what? I'm really enjoying Moon Knight or whatever. Like, I'm just gonna quit at 4 weeks. No, you're not. No, you're not. Right. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. But it keeps you invested. But it also keeps you invested in the story, right? Because you're thinking about it, and then it's Wednesday. Here you go, right? Like, super smart. But yeah, Netflix has to stop doing all binge all the time. Like you got, like, I think you should save that for your like acquired, like, oh, hey, we got the new season of The Flash. Yeah, who cares? It's already been shown. Like, that doesn't need to be week to week, obviously.
Even the foreign shows that they buy, right? Even
all of it should. Any original content should absolutely be week to week. Sorry, right. Like, it should just be week to week. Like, that's how you're going to keep people on your goddamn service and getting people in. And look, people who are mad about them cracking down on password sharing, nigga, you're stealing. Like, you can't be mad at them for not wanting to have their money stolen from them. Like, come on, man. Don't get, like, how dare they lock their car at night? Like, come on, man. Like, that's their product. Like, don't get mad at them because you've been living on Easy Street for the last decade. Like, all right, like, you've saved a lot of money. Like, either get it. I mean, I think they're trying to make it so that, like, you pay a certain price and then you can have like one additional account, right? So they make it so you don't have to like cancel or people got to buy separate accounts, but like, come on, man, you got to pay a little bit of money. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Like, you cannot. I hate the internet's attitude about stuff like that. Like, I can't believe you're not letting me steal shit. Like, come on, man.
It's entitlement, man. It's entitlement. Like,
you got to. That's a bullshit thing to be mad about. I can't believe they're not letting me steal from them. Yeah, turns out. So lower tier, that's ad supported, that's coming too. Which makes sense. Look, for folks, like, make it like $6 a month. Or $5, actually make it $5. Cup of coffee price. $5. Trust me, that works. So like, make it $5 or $6 a month. And then it's ad supported, and then you can actually make some real money. That would be smart. I bet a lot of people would probably drop. Like, if you want to keep Netflix, but you don't want to pay that high price, I bet a lot of people would be like, all right, cool, I'll pay $6. Like, I watch Netflix every once in a while, so like, commercials not that big of a deal. You could probably get a lot of people to convert over.